Hello. Not so enthusiastic. Frank, how's life? It's Monday. Can you put on your Monday face? That's I cannot get it out of my head now. Okay. Please don't make me cry. Yeah. Frank, what's up? That is what I wanted to hear, because the last episode was super much fun for me. And to my own surprise, at least to my own surprise, I received at least like 2 times feedback that people watched it and gave feedback. So this was new. This was new to me, and this almost talking to myself experience. Now she's sleeping, hopefully. Yes, I shared it with you, so it wasn't that bad. And personally, I had super much fun. It's compared to monitoring and the other thing that we did before, that the chit chat that didn't work like at all. Yeah, Dapper. I tried to pronounce it correctly. Dapper was super much fun. Yeah, I'm struggling with the pronunciation. Yeah, if you have it wrongly in your head, I mean, there's no pronunciation on the website, so how the heck should I know?
Yes, that's true. And for everybody in my chat that listened to me while I was mute, in Max's chat, you can please watch the video in Max's chat, then you'll see the answers from me. So it's good when you notice that you are muted. Would have been a fun stream. Yeah. So in my stream, at least you would have been heard. So
I haven't checked my audio. Did you check my audio?
I didn't. Did I?
No, I do it. TV.Azure Max. Just keep talking.
Sorry, I was drinking. So just keep talking. This is a test. 1, 2, 3.
It's working.
Perfect. Tech pros at work.
So, I totally forgot what we did last time. Let's do a brief recap what we did.
We did.
Should we?
We did state management.
For what?
We tried it out. So we deployed a so-called example app. I don't know how much we will reuse from that. And we tried to persist the stages. And in the end, it
worked.
It worked. But
it was this weather.
We had so much fun in the last episode and didn't know what we did. What we did, Max, we had fun. We streamed.
The thing is, it's like the time flies when you have so much fun.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And I have constant fun, like at work, at home, over the weekend, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, we documented this in code, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So we documented this in code, and I think I recall what we did. We put in this beautiful get method that checked if we have the state, and if not, randomized the state here, in this case, weather array.
Yep.
persisted it, returned it, and we were happy.
So much happy.
So, and then we deployed this locally, if I'm not mistaken.
True.
And we built a Docker container containing all the stuff.
Yes.
Of course, best practices implemented here. So it's like 4 lines Docker that copies everything and puts it up somewhere. I think we didn't
No, we didn't do anything else there.
push it somewhere, right?
Right. So.
So, and then did we look at GitHub Actions for this? No, we didn't, right?
No, that was not what we did last time.
I don't see. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Can
I
you
noticed.
invite me to live share so we can maybe go together then?
It's going to do what did it do? Okay. Yes, I like that. Invitation link copied. It is in the chat.
Le chat. Thank you very much.
Luckily, I didn't copy it to the stream chat. Then would have been fun. It's like, hey, welcome.
It could be also an experiment, right? So how much
Welcome
can
to my
break?
computer. Yeah.
So maybe do it in a VM or something.
Joined, left, and joined. Okay.
I'm here. Is there any way to restricted mode is intended for safe code browsing? Trust this worker to enable all features.
Follow to the site. Oh, nice. Okay, it's like the stalking mode. So if you open stuff, nice.
So, is there a way of chatting? That would be super interesting.
There is session chat here.
Sorry. How did you open that?
I clicked on session chat.
Down below. Okay. Sometimes it's all confusing. There it is.
New technology. So, let me pull up the architecture that we did last time. Azure and Tech Talk. Where is it? Here, static episode 8. This beautiful fella.
I didn't link that. I think we need. I need to change the blog post.
No worries. So we have this container here with the logic.
Yeah.
And this is basically the state.
Yeah.
So something that holds the state outside. On my computer, it's right now Redis.
Yeah.
In Azure, it potentially, if things work out, it can be Cosmos DB.
Yes.
With the serverless tier, because I mean, with the load that we anticipate, I think that is just fine.
Needs to be a huge conference.
Yes. Yeah. And then we put in GitHub Actions, and that's it. Yeah. So what's next? What do we want to do? Do we want to like refactor the app, or do we want to like GitHub Actionize everything? And
so first of all, we could think about there's possible ways to tackle this problem. I think we could start in having infrastructure as code ready to maybe start building up what do we need, and then deploy it, and then extend it, and redeploy it, and what we need in there. So I think there's a GitHub action also for biceps code, right? Is there?
But I have the cluster already, right? So the only component that is missing would be the Cosmos.
Yeah, but maybe also use the So the funny thing is, as you use your subscription for this,
Mhm.
we could then we do it on the fly. So if we, for example, say we put up the AKS right now in GitHub Actions
Mhm.
and
I see what
redeploy
you
it
want to do.
because we
Like
don't have any.
kill it after the stream.
Yeah, we could just keep up the database, for example, which is all we need, I think.
I mean, if it's serverless, then this is fine. But the good thing is, you can nowadays stop the Kubernetes cluster
Yeah,
in the Azure portal. So the cost here is like, hey, get away stream. Yeah. Okay, no gaming. Okay, so infrastructure as code could be one.
yeah. Or we could start with the app, and start rewriting the app what we want in there. This is also something. We could also think about. Is there? I think there's GitHub projects. Does it support like to-dos? I think we could also
Issues.
Yeah, we could also think about some issues so that we track what we want to do.
Feedback, the Power app. And we have issues. And do we create a new one? So, feedback app version 1. We want to have infrastructure. Am I doing this right now? Right? It has to be something like this.
Could
Yes.
use. Okay.
Oh, Frank.
Hmm?
No, I cannot use the buttons on the right. This is not. No.
So you're
It's
a
like-
keyboard
it's like
shortcut
using
guy.
It's like I'm trying to like memorize this stuff. Infrastructure as code for Kubernetes and Cosmos.
Yeah, for all moving parts, right? So we are not sure if there will be more, right?
Fair point.
Because the IoT stuff and all that is also coming in. Can you do subtasks in this?
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So under infrastructure as code, we should maybe put the different parts that we need. Yeah, can be extended.
Mm-hmm. What is bicep template?
Is it a template?
I was wondering what the name for this whole stuff is, but I think it's template, bicep, file,
muscle,
format, whatever. Arm stuff.
Arm.
All right.
Bicep. Never thought. It's always funny when I think about it that the predecessor of bicep was arm. Do you need to move an arm? A bicep.
Yep.
Okay. This joke was lost on Max.
I'm hard at work here, right? So, infrastructure as code, GitHub Actions, bicep template.
Chat.
So front and back end, we
Please
need
don't
to
write
have
to Max. He's in the zone.
in the zone. GitHub Actions, of course. Did I mention that I used GitHub Actions like last week extensively?
Yes, you did. To me, at least. But not
It's amazing stuff, right?
Amazing.
Coming from GitHub, from DevOps, Azure DevOps.
Yeah.
And there I mostly, don't tell anyone, used the clicky web configuration stuff and not the code base.
Didn't use code?
I didn't, because I had it like working for like years. Why should I like touch it again and convert it to code? That would be not so clever. Especially if you want to learn GitHub Actions and use more of the stuff there. And I did, and I pretty much enjoyed it. I like copied, pasted several components together, and with my extensive YAML background, that we learned when we did the Kubernetes certification.
I was thinking, is this extensive YAML background coming from our endeavors in
Yes,
Kubernetes
yeah,
together?
I mean
Okay.
it's helping. It's helping.
I forgot, and this is something I wanted to have a look at. Just a side note, there was a way that there was a new format for YAML, right? Which was not.
Yeah.
I already forgot about that. I wanted to look at it like
Yeah.
months ago. Good to know. Something I need to put into my personal to-do.
The backlog. So we need to have.
And can we do in under infrastructure as code? Also like.
What? That didn't work. I wanted to. No.
Can we under? I will do it.
What?
Under infrastructure as code, maybe like a little. What we need Cosmos to be, AKS cluster. No, a moving list or a growing list. Cosmos DB, Azure Containers Registry. And just put 1 point IoT. Not sure about that yet. By the way, I just got my IoT device running yesterday because I'm taking part of the official worldwide open hackathon from
yeah.
So the garage, which some of our most useful stuff is coming from the garage, which is like conducting 3-day hackathon worldwide at Microsoft, and yeah, I'm taking part in that tomorrow in a project from a colleague where we prepare the learning materials for the Ready School. So Ready School is always forget what it means.
I think the R is for refugees, right?
Yeah, so funny, it doesn't say on the page as well. So that it's a school where refugees are mostly in, and we kind of supported by Microsoft, and this is like we are giving them learning and all that, and also giving them contacts with companies, big companies that are sponsors also in this Ready School. And the thought behind this is to like train next professionals from tomorrow, and this is really picking up, and a lot of companies are supporting this, and so we are also taking part as coaches there. So and we are also always doing like
the topic is not super secret, right?
Huh?
The topic is not super secret.
No. So I think every year we have like a part in IoT, and so this year we want to look at IoT and sustainability, and we are looking at some templates that were put into place there and all that. So this is something we will do the next 3 days, and for this, everybody that takes part of that deployed some IoT device. Most of the people use their phone, which you can actually deploy to an IoT central thing, and you can see the location and all that. But I used my IoT dev kit, and yeah, it's sending temperature data and all that to the cloud right now. And I was like going crazy yesterday because that thing didn't. So it has the possibility to use WPA, so you know the pre-shared keys for wireless Wi-Fi. But it didn't work. So I had to put up a Wi-Fi signal without any encryption. But then it worked like a charm. But not before. So
security.
Yeah.
Makes your life a little bit harder.
Yes. really.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this is tomorrow, and yeah, really looking forward to that. So yeah, I think right about now we are almost 15 people, 20 people in this project.
Cool.
So really looking forward to what will come out of this. And also we are accepting, so normally the hackathon is like for internal Microsoft employees, but I think this year it was the audience was a little bit broadened, so we also have MVPs in there and all that, so our most valuable partners and all that. So
most valuable professionals.
Partners and professionals. Thank you, Max. I was thinking, is it partners or professional? But it can be both.
The German translation is müssen viel posten. Have to write a lot. So yeah, most of them are bloggers and have to share stuff, especially if the renewals
coming up, yes,
are coming up like end of June, and then they have to like collect all the blog posts, get the numbers, conference attendance, and whatnot, and yeah, put it in a beautiful website. And yeah, every MVP hates this website.
So
yeah,
you know my approach to this, Max?
You joined Microsoft, so you cannot be an MVP?
Yes, it was too much work for me, so I became part of Microsoft.
Yeah, I've been there, so I didn't like it. It's like writing a diary that you really hate and is slow and errors out and whatnot, especially if you are really late and like all MVPs do brute force entries on the very last days.
May or something, or April and all that. I think we have a really uptick then in blog posts and that.
Could be. Could be. Good. Let's start with this.
Perfect.
So
I'm having a really good mood today. So Max, this is gonna be awesome today.
It is already awesome, Frank. So still wondering what we should do first, because we have. Did we check if the app works today? Like F5 it?
I hope you didn't break it.
Some projects have trouble loading. Okay. Something is moving, that's good. So where did we put the app? In weather forecast. Okay. Okay, so it has the title. Yeah. I think we had it somewhere in here, right? And then we had API, weather, data. Did I? Weather forecast. Just checking because I think this Dapper stuff is not working anymore, right? What did we do?
Yeah, we did the same time like we did last time, so we need to start Dapper alongside.
Otherwise, it cannot like talk to the.
Yes, so the sidecar needs to be running alongside this container. We were thinking about last week, or the last time you
I think I was smart last time and put the command run locally bet. Yeah. I put it in there.
Didn't you mention last time that there was a way to get this debugging and all that in live?
Yes.
So should we have a look at that today, maybe, first of all?
Could be. So it's easier to debug, right?
Yeah, so, yeah.
I saw this.
Actually, I was also thinking last time, so one idea from my side as well, if we don't want to put it into a code space, so I don't need to set it up for myself here as well, so I could use the code spaces.
I saw this from this guy. Donovan Brown.
Yes.
You cannot listen to this. Yeah. What did you do? Oh, it gives step-by-step instructions. Mm-hmm. So Donovan is always right. Let me move it to here. Now I cannot read it anymore. This has to go. This has to go. And where is this? Launch JSON. So he puts it into the args, the minus URLs. Let's listen to port 5000 on HTTPS. Okay. Then he removes this stuff. Enable launching a browser. Server ready action. Okay. What is this? Dapper scaffold dapper task. Have you seen this before?
No. Ah, okay.
Yeah, app sounds just about right. 5000 is something we have seen before.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
So let's look at what did it do. Oh, you call all that. This is nice. So this is what I added.
Yeah.
This is what has been removed. Then I haven't seen this before. Source file map, okay, whatever. And then it adds a new entry in the launch menu. .NET Core Launch Web with Dapper with the same URLs from the current folder. This is from the top and says host debug task Dapper down. Okay. Dapper debug, Dapper down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it starts debug Dapper and then
Attaches.
Yeah.
All right. So if this really works, is how do I select the launch? Here somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Let's press play.
Let's pray.
Pray.
Yes.
And then does it open a browser?
Is
Or
it
do I have
already
to
running?
do I have to go to localhost 5000? Oh, it's doing something.
Yes.
Hello world. So debugger is only great if it really debugs. So potentially we just put a breakpoint here, go to fetch data, and it breaks.
This is funny. Live share is funny. My
Screen?
Visual Studio code just popped out as well and at the breakpoint.
At the same breakpoint, yeah, that's nice.
Oh, there we are.
Look at this. Here we break.
There we are.
Oh, nice. Color me impressed. So save state. This is what we had here. And if we do this again, it should have the same chili,
Working like a
sweltering,
charm, Max.
freezing, whatever.
Isn't it awesome?
Because it should load from the state. Exactly. Chili, sweltering, freezing. Perfect. That was almost too easy.
I put a comment.
I did see it. The file has changed, but where did you put the comment?
Oh, it was below. See?
Ah, we are awesome. Okay, let's leave it in. Save. Yeah, awesome. One. This will be a theme today. Okay, let's push this. Okay.
The debug is still running, right? Okay.
Debug is still running. So we do not have .NET 6 where you have this live reload kind of feature stuffy.
Yeah.
But for this you have to use the fully fledged Visual Studio.
Yeah.
And then you code, compile, and then it automatically reloads, which is potentially nice.
I like the style of pair programming.
Yes. So what do we do from our agenda today? We put a like in here, right? Like. How do we debug? Cool. Donovan, if you watch this, it worked on the first attempt, and we are super impressed.
Yes.
Okay, he does the same. Launch it, break it. How does he pronounce it? Dapper. Knew it. I knew it.
Dapper?
Dapper.
Wait. That's not fair, Max. You cannot do that.
Of course I can.
You cannot take the other pronunciation and proclaim it as your own. No. No.
Okay, you caught me. Good. Let's look at the OctoCAD.
It's good to see that we have that we surpassed our counter, and because I would have gotten the tick now.
Ah, the counter. Too bad we are not doing this today.
Too bad. Such a surprise. We're not doing that today.
We could potentially start now.
And now everything will be wrong what I say, so no, we don't start.
So, what could be next?
Yeah, so where should we start? We need to find a point where we can start. So I'm open to everything. So coding will be a higher jump for me. Because first of all, we need to think of what do we put there. So Hello World, reducing it to Hello World is at least a good start.
Actually, we need 3 buttons.
Yes, 2. You just wanted to go to good and bad first, I think.
Okay.
Or?
Yes, for me out. Yes.
For me out.
For me
out.
out. Yeah.
German and English sounds so weird. English for runaways. English for Fortgeschrittene.
We need to have images. But this one. I want to use like happy smiley. And we have to use image search, and we have to like, where's this usage rights?
I'm afraid.
Like this guy?
No, before the search before that was a different one.
Yeah, that's yeah. This
This
is from
one,
a page.
that's not a, that,
Yeah,
that's,
we shouldn't. Like, we can use this guy because it's from Wikipedia.
yeah. So that's not.
And potentially there is no copyright to it. Yeah, share like. So is that, I like it. But we should potentially use something from a family. So they look similar and not like one looks like this guy, and then yeah, Frank.
Hmm?
This guy. This guy and this guy.
This is later after the sessions. This is not feedback.
Yeah, tools, usage rights, Creative Commons. This guy. Bite him a little bit. This is definitely from a free site, like freesvg.org. Wow, this guy is also like, what session was this? Oh, this guy.
Help!
Where's the exit? What the heck? Okay, this is complicated.
Maybe we should just first do 2 buttons which says good and bad, and then
like red and green.
Yeah, for example. And then have a look at what symbols to use. Because I'm getting a little bit afraid.
Class. Good. So we have 2 links. Good. And bad.
Okay.
And potentially this should automatically render. So here, yeah, bad, good. We have this already. So this is hot reloading. I'll hit the breakpoint. That is good. Bad and good. All right, then we need to like send this to the backend.
Yep, so to call the code, right?
So we could potentially use this one. Ask whatever feedback. No, it's the return. Actually, we don't need anything from the return. Submit. So that would be the method that we need to call. And I guess we should.
Do you want to do that in weather forecast controller?
We can rename that.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a push of a button. Just want to see it like working, and then we refactor it.
Okay.
So we need this fellow. Then we need to have the store. And then we need to like persist it. And something we need to like submit. So that could be object, right? Feedback. And a little bit here. And we do not have this object. So there is no generate type. That would be work.
I think you're still debugging. That's the reason it doesn't give you that.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. So feedback would be like a session ID and ID and like,
Hmm?
do we want to put in like numbers for the good bad, or what
Yeah,
would be our?
we could say just zeros and ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to make it easy.
Yes, value.
Yeah, we could just increase like a value, right? So I think when we think about the state, what we need for this feedback app, it's not like we need individual entries
Ooh.
there, right? We just
So you
need
just
one and increase it one.
But then you have to also add the count to it. Otherwise, you cannot like do like average or something.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Is that a good design to have this?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that as well. So
No, my gut feeling says we shouldn't do it like this.
okay, so
We
you
should
want
leave it like
individual
this.
entries and say okay.
And the good thing then is, like, if you think in a highly distributed system, incrementing would like lock.
We could have a problem with concurrent
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah. And if you have like stupid entries, like 2 numbers,
Yeah.
session ID and the other value, and then later on aggregate this, would be potentially way faster.
Yeah, and we would also make sure that we cannot decrease it, right?
Yeah.
Because we are only adding and.
Yeah. Typically, you would do like an enum here.
Yeah. So the good thing is in concurrency we wouldn't have any update. We only would have add row, so this is fine then, and read. So it's from a concurrency perspective, is I think fine.
It's bad. Why doesn't it like it? No, public. Go away, squiggly line. So that would be it. But yeah, we could also do one int, like an int here.
Yeah.
Whatever. VS Code likes it. It's green. Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, and we should think about how we could expose that. Yeah, because in the end we don't want to really have so we want to have the possibility to use a web page but also like an IoT device, right? So it just needs to maybe just call an endpoint.
This can be passed in like this here. Is an object that it wants to have, like with this, and then the 2 properties like session ID and value.
Yeah.
Like this, and value would be, what do we have as int? Like that one would be this. If we submit it as JSON to this API, then this would be accepted.
Yeah.
But I think we should post it. So that would be something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So and you can use a post for that. So when we push the button and this is just a post call to the other one, we can also leverage it from other parts.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's.
It's been a long time developing mics.
Yeah, not for me. Still like wrapping my head around how we like make this work. Like this year is all fine and dine and like pretty much stupid, right?
Yeah.
Because now we need to like add the handlers to this. So what should happen if you click on it?
Yeah.
So I think it was ng click or something like this. Angular click event binding. This is too long ago. It's like this. Event was in braces.
ng minus click.
No, it's the old one.
Ah,
You have to, you have to check if it's Angular JS.
Okay.
Then it's
Understood.
really old.
Yeah.
And the Angular IO is like what happened after the break from Angular 4 to I think the latest version is now 12.
Okay. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. API. Okay. ng click.
So if you can see my screen, click in round braces is the event.
Okay.
And it then says, if you click on it, it says on save. So this method is then called.
Okay. So. Okay.
So, and Angular has this nice structure here. So there's a corresponding TypeScript file.
Mm-hmm.
So same name, but it can just TypeScript. And if we declare in here a function that's called onSave, was onSave, right? No parameters, then we could attach a debugger in here. So, and we attach this fellow to bad. So let's go to the browser again.
So actually, one question.
Mm-hmm.
We need bad or good, or is this just maybe also a parameter that we for the same function? Do we need a bad function or bad?
No, it's the same function, but we pass in different parameters.
Yeah. Okay. Because then onSave would need to pass a parameter, right?
Yeah. So the button did something, but it reloaded the page because I think we didn't like interrupt the.
Yeah.
Do we have to do anything in there? Angular, save, whatever, click. I think we need to like stop the where it needs to go, but I think we figured this out, or we potentially just do not use like this fellow, like an image. No source.
What is the problem?
Because it's a link, it did navigate.
Okay. Okay. But it jumps to the same page, right?
Yes. Just basically refreshes the page.
How about a button?
Yeah, buttons, come on. That's actually a good idea. So an input of type button or just button? Like this?
Yeah.
I think you can also give it like, right?
It's good. Beautiful.
It broke, yes! Debugger attached. So it should break in here. So we have also now debugging in the browser. Debugging is nice.
Oh.
I need to bring fireworks next time. Good.
I had my fireworks for myself just now because I sneezed. Luckily, I got myself muted. I think
That's nice.
I traveled
Thank
2
you.
or 3 seconds back in time or something.
That's nice.
That's nice.
Okay, talking about nice, we need to implement this method. Submit feedback. And there we have like 2 values in there, like session ID.
Yeah.
Let's make it 1. And then we have bad. And we have the same method for good. With the 2, that means the good case. All right, then we have this here. We can provide parameters like session ID. We know it's a number, and we have.
I think you need to change the unsafe, right?
Yes, I will do so.
Okay.
The value, which is also a number. And then we have submit feedback. Submit feedback, session, whatever. Good. Yes. Whoa. Crazy. Don't do this to me.
What?
My computer is moving.
It's moving, what?
Oh, wait. Come on, do it.
Or do we say value just, let's say, to know which? Funny to code at the same time, right?
Can you also save my file, like Control S?
Yes.
No, it didn't save it.
It did? For me, it did.
No, it didn't. For here, it says still unchanged. Can you write something? And save it?
Saved it?
Yeah, okay, good. Then this is something you cannot do because it's my screen.
Okay.
Bad gives us session ID 1, value 1, and good gives us session ID 1, value 2. Terrific. So next we need to like send it back. For this, I think we need to have HTTP from Angular. I forgot it. It would have looked so nice if I could write this from my head, right? Angular HTTP host. Communicating with backend servers using HTTP. HTTP client. This fellow. This is what we need. So basically,
this is for calling.
Yeah. Where is it?
HTTP posts and all that, right?
And then we can like inject this to our constructor. So it has it in here, whatever, and we can like send it to our backend, like with this here. requesting a typed response. We want to post. Making a post.
Making post request, okay.
So exactly. It says this HTTP is the HTTP client that we have.
Yeah.
The method is post. Then the object that we want to receive. And this is the thing that we send.
Yeah.
So this is the URL. Whatever. The other is the object, and this is the HTTP options that we can give to it, like retries and timeouts and whatnot. And the rest is handling of the asynchronous stuff. So we do not want to receive anything.
So since I'm coming from Java world, so this is also the reference to this object then, right?
This is, yeah, exactly. Okay. We sent this to this, still to the weather thing, right?
Yeah.
What's the API for this? Weather forecast. Just weather forecast. Okay. Submit feedback. Then the object that we want to send.
I think we need to build that object, right?
Yeah. We should like have a class for this.
Don't we do? I think we do have a class, right?
But we have the class on the server, not on the client.
Okay, okay.
And here we have similar prop. Ooh, no. What did it do? I just want to have like two values. Public session ID of type number. Like value also of type number. And we want to have a constructor. Session ID number. We add the value of number. Then say this feedback value is feedback value, and this session ID is session ID. And then we can do magic like here. Feedback session ID value tube. Post it to here. Let's say we don't have feedback and the HTTP options. Do we want to handle errors?
We can.
Then we need to import this catch error thingy. Where did they import it? I don't see it. Ah, here. Good. Add this to here. This is reactive JS. So reactive handling of async events. This handle errors. Yes, we create a method for this. What is it doing?
Okay. So
handle error. It gets a string and then hero, whatever. So this is like the method. This is the feedback. And then whatever it's doing here. I'm not getting this, but I think it's a little bit like I do this so complicated.
Yeah, it was like RxJS. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what this actually means.
Does it expect catch error? It expects an observable input operator function. I think we make it like a little bit easier and say, if this happens, please like throw an error like console.error. So it doesn't like it.
Yeah. Type void is not assignable to type observable input any. So
What the smart folks from Angular are doing here.
we throw an error.
I wanted to have like this here, exactly. Tab and error. See, that's a nice implementation here. Not something crazy like with the too many braces. So let's import this fellow. Yes. And then say here, catch error. Say this, handle error. Do we need something else? No.
Can you go down? Okay, so error, something bad happened. Please try again later. Okay.
Will it work? Like clear this. It's doing nothing. Did we say it should do something? Yes, right?
We didn't do anything with this submit feedback, right? Or did we already enter the session state there as well?
We did do something, but it didn't like submit it back. It didn't talk to like this here. See, it's not like if you pressure this on the Ajax kind of things, it didn't do anything. I think we are not doing this thingy here correctly. No.
Can you click a little bit slower, please?
I'm so sorry. 21, 22. So this is the method and it returns this here. I think we need to like observe this, otherwise it doesn't know that it needs to wait. See, we need to like
Subscribe to this, yes.
Make it like this and say subscribe. This is not best practice. Don't look at this code, but it will eventually work. It didn't reload yet, I would say. This is old code, okay. Let's reload it just to be safe. It's loading. It loaded. So let's do the click. Remove everything here. Bad. It says 404 not found.
Yeah, weather forecast it didn't find, right?
Yes, so this method was not found.
And did we expose the method? Yes.
Public,
It's
but
not.
we did call it submit.
Yeah, different, right? What?
Kill. Kill.
Esrich died.
Switch died. It's reloading, nice. It's not happy. Method not found. Submit back.
Little s.
This does not make a difference.
Yeah, does it expose it as little?
No. URLs are not case sensitive.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes URLs can be case sensitive. By the way, but yeah.
No, not today.
Not today. Okay. So
Better
this
forecast.
rule is just for today.
So the question is, why does it like controller? So it's this one. And there we should have the post of this friend.
So the question would be if we need to expose something to have this function exposed as well. So the endpoint, but yeah.
And we submitted this here.
Yeah.
I think we mark this. We need to mark this like from body or something like this.
Yeah.
From body. Kill Esrich. He killed him again.
No.
He has 2 lives.
Yes.
Still loading. Not found. Cannot post weather forecast to submit feedback. So we need to declare this somehow. might be a problem with this fellow. Happier now. Let's switch like the third time.
Connection refused. Okay.
Still loading.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit hard to see, but here is the loading indicator instead of the favicon.
Yeah.
It says this method is not found.
Yeah. Question would be.
It would have been too easy, right? Task. What are we missing? Why did this work before with the get and this doesn't work with the post? It's public.
Do we need to config? Do it in put it into the config?
That we have this method?
Yeah.
No.
Config
.NET.
JSON?
No.
Okay.
.NET
But Angular,
typically.
Angular needs to know it.
What does Angular need to know?
Maybe I was just looking.
No.
At
because it's like decoupled, right? You could write independently the backend and then consume it from any front end.
Because I think you had this heroes function, right? So I think it's also mentioned in there on the webpage you opened.
On the webpage, like this one?
Yes. You go a little bit up. Making a post request.
Yeah, this is actually sending data to making a post request.
Okay. Requesting data from the server. Okay.
I think in this case, it's not the front end that makes expose the error. I think the back end does not expose this submit feedback method. So let's pause this, go to the debugger, launch the other one. Because potentially in the debug mode from ASP.NET Core, we should see what it doesn't like. The request is not like getting there, but it's localhost 5000.
I think the path or
Like this one?
yeah, so I think it doesn't know what to do with this path.
Yeah. But it doesn't tell me also here. So do we have an app settings somewhere here? Okay. Let's make this a little bit more verbose. Could have been so easy if this just works, right? So Angular at core backend. And this won't show us the.
So if you go to Startup CS
Mm-hmm.
in our code,
Mm-hmm.
so if you go down, you see like use endpoints, and you see the endpoints there, name default, you know,
Mm-hmm.
controller and action equals index and then ID. Is this something maybe that we need to?
I would say so, yes. Whatever the ID is.
Yeah. I think it takes the action. Is this the second part, right? So it's the weather controller and slash action. Is what do there. So, and lastly is the ID you're giving over, right? It uses maybe, right?
I think yeah. But potentially we can just use endpoints. Like.
So you mean this? Okay. Okay. Yep.
And say, hey, we don't want to use magic patterns for the naming or fancy.
It's standard pattern, right?
Yeah, we have to use it like this.
So that is on the one hand, an example application always gives you like something to start off, which is easy. But sometimes for me, it's easier to
Start from scratch.
Start from scratch because then you know exactly what the application does. Because
of course, yeah.
We now have a lot of clutter in our
application. Nope.
Didn't do it?
But I think with the endpoints, what is he now calling? HTTP get, HTTP post, whatever. Where's his client? He gives routes.
Yeah, it's that's the next question. If we need to put in our code like, so we have the weather forecast. I think we also need to put something there because we have the API controller. This is the root controller, right?
Yeah.
And then we need to also have an endpoint for method there, right?
But we have this weather forecast.
Yeah.
Then controller is being removed.
Yeah.
And then we have the method submit feedback.
But is this exposed?
Yes, public.
Yeah, but is
And
this rooted? I mean, so Do we need to put an explicit route there? No.
Typically, no.
Would we see that in Visual Studio Code? What kind of endpoints we have?
There is like a trick. There's a NuGet package, NuGet routes. Get all registered routes in ASP.NET Core.
Yeah.
This friend here.
That's.
What does it want to have? Specify one package. Yes, this. Cannot find projects. Ah. If that's there, then we need to register this friend in configure services. Configure services. Anywhere, good. And in use MVC, don't have this.
We should search for configure, right?
This feels a little bit too much because we don't want to have like MVC in there. Let's see what we break.
So we can then do /routes, right?
/routes, and then it should show us. See. Yeah, endpoint routing does not support use MVC.
Okay.
So it's either or.
Okay.
But potentially this guy, the ASP.NET Route Analyzer, did also consider this one. No, it did not. I opened this before. It has already links that I definitely not clicked in this session, so I had this problem before.
Yeah. I linked you something in the chat here. Maybe we look at this.
Yeah, this is the default, right?
Yeah. So I think maybe we can learn something. Multiple conventional roles, pattern defaults, conventional routing order. Ah, okay. You see you go down to, so what, do we need an I action? So public action. You know what I mean?
Yes, the return type, the
Yeah,
IAction result.
yeah, here. So this is then like /edit, edit, right? So you first comes the controller, then comes the action. This is something that we have here as well. So a public function is not something that you think you cannot inherently call it.
So you mean the return type must be of this type, otherwise it's not being mapped?
Could be. Not sure.
I remove the other route analyzer stuff that is gone. And here you say instead of task.
Attribute routing for REST APIs. So it should use attribute routing to the model the apps function. Okay. Map controllers. Okay. And then it's home controller matches the set of URLs similar to what default. So we need to explicitly specify the route, I think, if we do it like with the map endpoints. So look
Okay.
at the file I sent you and scroll a little bit down and go to attribute routing for REST APIs. See that this is what we had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see here.
But typically I use conventional routing.
Yeah, but we could.
Or some whatever this comes from. So implicit.
Do we want the REST API or do we do the other stuff? So I think this is like the REST API would be then that you expose your functions. The other one is like you have actions and then attributes you give over then. So attribute routing for REST APIs is like you have like the functions that you expose via a REST API that you can call then.
I actually wanted to have like this.
Yeah.
So here he said HTTP get list products.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Okay. Let's go up, please, again. Don't scroll down. Wait, did you have that? What you just showed? Both of these actions only match HTTP GET because they're marked with HTTP GET attribute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We mapped it with post.
Yeah. Okay. So did you put an action result there? So okay.
Did we fix this here? Okay, it's compiling. Loading. Nope, not happy. Let me look into an existing example where I have this in place. What did I do in the startup? I actually have it there. Like use endpoints with the patterns. So let me copy this over. like this, what we had before, controller, action,
Okay.
whatever. Use bar, use routing. So that looks
Similar.
pretty similar, untouched. And then let me look into one service. I have top as decorated as API controller. And here I put in like API slash where the fuck, I hard coded this.
Okay.
And then I just gave this here like names.
Yes. So you explicitly state what post it is. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but the response is like
Just public. I see.
Yeah.
So we needed to define so explicitly say this is the route then. I think there's
Let's
a way to also that
Yeah.
does some pattern matching or something, or
Yeah, that's it. Magically extracts it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be perfect just now.
No. Just need the
Work.
basis and improve on that.
Like working would be good.
Yeah, working would be good.
Need to get rid of the breakpoint. Oh, it's not working. So, I think we introduced API.
Yeah, we did. Maybe we can
Then
omit
it's
the API.
also get rid. I actually like the API.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Then we can explicitly say okay.
Please work. Oh, it is in different error.
Keep alive. Okay. So
State operations failed.
you started the
Nice.
other debugger, so
You're right. So let's get rid of this. That is a good catch. I would have never thought about this.
it's my pair programming is
Pair
nice.
programming.
$200.
It worked briefly. Then it reloaded. It worked.
Perfect.
200.
Should have done now something and written to your local.
Safe state.
Yeah, nice.
Impressive.
Perfect. So we have the basic there for the application.
Front end talks to back end.
Yeah. And we also could use the backend now already, for example, if we want to have like we need for example for the IT device or something, right?
Did I lose you as?
Oh, shouldn't. Why?
Because I didn't add you to the source code here. Whatever. In the first commit it added you, in the second one it didn't.
Oh.
Okay, it's working for both the good and the bad. Okay,
Nice.
that is impressive.
Can we see the log, the console log?
The console log is this here.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Nice.
And this is the server saved state. So we
Perfect.
should actually do this, right? Saved Oh, we actually do this.
We do this because yes, we write line save state, and then we also save state async. We store it in the store name.
But it overwrites, right? It doesn't like edit.
Does it?
Yeah, I think it's.
I think we need to work on the state store state key name. Isn't it just like these are not placeholders, right? It's the store is now state store, right?
Yes. It's a state store. Well, here, state store with this key.
Yeah. So the key is always the same.
Yes. So it overwrites.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically it would represent it like in JSON like this, state key name,
Yeah.
and then would create this, and then has our feedback object embedded.
Yeah.
That session ID 1, the feedback value.
We do it that way. Don't we? So the object then is always changed, right?
The object is overwritten then, but this friend here is always the same.
Shouldn't be the state key name then be different? Just for thinking about. So we can do. So we have one state store name, right? The store is the same, right? But the state key would be then. Would it be good to use as a state key name maybe the session?
No.
Why?
But don't ask me what a good alternative would be. We should like check this into whatever state operations. There are new things here, like performance and scalability statistics. Nice. Where was managing state? Was it in here?
Blocks. Yes.
State management. Work with backend state stores. Yeah, let's look into Cosmos.
This is how we get it from Cosmos DB
then. But this is how Dapper stores it.
Yeah, so you get all the state keys.
But how do we like build our state? What is our state?
How to build a stateful service. Why do you think that it's not good to have like every session, for example, for a state key? Because it's just like you have the store, and then in the store you have like index value pairs, right? And then you would have like the index would be then the session ID, and the value would be then is it good or bad. And then when you want to read that, you would get from the state store everything that is having the same session ID, for example.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like concerned that this doesn't scale.
Why?
Not sure, just gut feeling.
But that's like what you do, right? So if you have a so in general, it's like a NoSQL database, right? Value index value pairs.
Yeah. So key value, yeah.
Key value, yes. Sorry. Yeah. And you then would like select on the key, right? But wait a second. If we have a key, we cannot have multiple entries to that, right? This is always the same key.
Yes, but we could like come up with a GUID.
Yeah.
And write that. as key. That would ensure that we do not have collisions.
Yeah. But how would we find out if something belongs together?
Yeah, this is the next thing, right? Actually, I want to have like partitions.
Yeah.
And the partition would be the session ID and everything then behind that.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. So you would want to have like the information of this one partition, which is like dependent on one session.
You think about this for a little bit, and I grab something to drink.
Okay.
And I'm coming back in like
5 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
this one.
Actually, I did pause myself a little bit and
Ah.
not think that much about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long day. Specifying a state prefix strategy. Okay. Das Nihilus. Okay. That was nerd. I like it.
Save and retrieve a single state, yeah, but we want to multiple states.
Yeah.
The question is this a good design to have like a tree that we persist? But I think it's not, because like if we have like thousands of feedbacks,
Yeah.
the last client like would have tons of work. But what we could do is like having the entries in this notation, like the key would be like 7 whatever 1, and then the GUID attached to it.
And the GUID is what?
We generated.
Yeah, but for what? Why is there GUID after that?
To have it like
So you have
randomized, collision free.
So you mean
So
that so your key would be, but how would we then retrieve it?
we do a search and get all keys that start with session 1.
Okay.
Or session 1 minus whatever.
Yeah, but that's very SQL. That's very relational.
Yeah, but the other, like the giant subtree child elements kind of things, it would get too big.
Would it? Isn't Cosmos DB
Like, and yes, Cosmos may be, but like attaching a child to a parent, I didn't see this here. Last ride wins, first ride wins.
It is just how you handle the stores, right? Yeah. Depot state management spec.
Yeah, they are Star Wars fans.
Yes, they are. Does Dapper pop up in Star Wars, maybe?
Does it make sense to have multiple stores? So a store per session?
Actually, there's a Dapper in Star Wars. It's the Diplomatic Affairs and Public Relations Department. Just a funny note on the side.
Diplomatic Affairs, Public Relations Department, Dapper.
Yeah.
Did you make this up, or is this?
This is actually something that Diplomatic Affairs and Public Relations Department is headed by Consul Navik Ikron.
Nerds.
Love it. So key, very key.
I said a store per session.
So when you look at this, so we have like the key, we have a value, and an e tag. What's the e tag?
The e tag is when has it changed the last time.
Okay. Edit tag. Oh.
Yes. And then you can check. So basically, in your object you have an e tag, and if two clients submit, then you can check if there is a collision.
But actually, so if we think about this, right? Isn't then key weapon? It would just give back all weapons, right? I think the key value pairs need to be unique.
The key needs to be unique. Then you have values to it.
Yeah, but could you have one key and different values to that? It would override.
Only,
right?
Yes, it would override only if you like attach it as a child.
Okay.
The bulk state. What do they do by get bulk state? Here they give multiple keys. And here they have partitions.
So my question then would be, would it be feasible to have a different store for each session?
This is interesting. Yeah, this is actually the same idea that I had, but I'm a little bit concerned that we then have too many stores, and that there's like an overhead that you have to pay.
Yeah.
But look at this. This here, State Star Wars transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have this new menu. If you select something, this comes out.
Yeah. And you hit search with Bing.
And here you provide like two methods. And provide a partition key. I think it's something in this partition key magic.
Yeah.
Let's search for partition key. What else is?
I think I'm not an expert in partitions and all that, but I think a partition like groups all the information together on a certain taxonomy.
It's like a bucket. You put everything in one bucket.
Yeah. So you then would have different
partitions.
Yeah, partitions, but I'm thinking about how would we then have we would have just key value pairs, which would be just the feedbacks, and group them by the partition, which is then the session ID, right?
So that is feedbacks, everything.
Okay.
And then we want to have like session 1, session 2, session 3, and in there we want to have.
These are the partitions, right?
Yeah. The sessions are the partitions.
Yeah.
And here we have the individual feedbacks.
So it's a yes to my question. Okay. Thank you.
So the outer would be our state store. And these boxes then would be our partitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these entries would just our key value pairs, and then we just need to.
And this, yeah, would be then the feedbacks.
Yeah.
So that is typically how I would say it works. So in SQL, the state store would be the table. The partition would be the session ID. And the
Be an
feedbacks
index.
would be, yeah, the values. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting better with Paint.
Not a skill I'm looking forward to.
Lets you save an array state of objects. I think we can do it like this. So this is our store. This
Actually, I also found something. Let's have a look at that.
All right. Where did you paste it?
Here in the chat. We actually have something in Microsoft Docs as well.
Nice.
It's kind of
it
better
looks-
documented.
It looks better than my Paint. So key is our key, value is this, and there's items in there. Okay. And where's a good example for this?
Just found it. So maybe there's something here and there. Wow, better forecast. Wait up. We look at that. But I think we already looked at it, right?
What? Yeah, I couldn't follow because I've read.
So key prefix state strategy. State store components enable different strategies to store key value pairs in the underlying store. Recall the earlier example of a shopping basket service storing items a customer wishes to purchase. Using the Redis console tool, look inside the Redis cache to see how the Redis thing. Okay. Okay, this enables multiple Dapper instances to share the same data store without any key name collisions. Okay. Dapper traffic control. A lot of examples in here. Interesting. But sadly, not something.
But I like the charting that they are using here.
Yeah. Yeah, the example is really good. So. This is quite nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem what we have is like, yeah, we need a partition, so. How do we do that?
I had this from. Where did I hear? So
Data
see,
information after Azure
can you
Cloud
see my
Solution.
screen?
Yeah.
So this is our state store. It's called Star Wars.
Yes, and planet.
And this is the key.
Yeah.
And it puts everything in the partition key, my partition key.
Yeah.
So if we call the partition key like session 1,
Yeah.
this would be then this box.
Is the partition key then? It's just, okay. Yes. Perfect. Yes.
And
so
if we then give the key like the squeet random string,
yeah,
then we have everything in the partition with randomized things. And then we just need to like query all keys in a partition.
Yep. Perfect. But what would then be the key?
The keys doesn't matter anymore. Key can be random.
Okay.
Let's say it's for the first entry, it's 1.
Yeah.
And we put in the feedback.
Yeah. What I'm wondering is like when it's random or something, if it's really needed. So because yeah, but yeah. So okay.
But let's come back to the scenario. So you have this IoT hub device with the 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And you have a session full of like 500 people.
Yeah.
And they all leave the room and they press the buttons.
Yeah.
And you don't know how many and where, how many simultaneously, worst case 500 in parallel.
Yeah.
So you don't need to identify the individual feedback response, but you need to catch all of them.
Yeah. So we need just a random number for the key then there.
Random. So we avoid collisions and override.
Yeah.
So the planet would be the GUID with the metadata partition key. We would put them into one session bucket. So everything is thrown in there. And then we have the values that comes out of this.
Yeah. The only thing I have the feeling here is that we kind of like relationalize a NoSQL, so a non-relationalist thing. But yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if we like can use like 3 objects, whatever objects into Dapper, to attach objects then to the parent. I haven't seen this.
Then let's do it that way. Whatever works first, and then we can.
So this would then be insert save state, and it has metadata here. All right, so this would be here, right? It has state key name that would be random.
Yep.
Good, or something is there. Good. Yeah. So that would be to string a random thing, and then we need to have our session name,
which then would be the partition. So we would need to get from like.
We put in the feedback dot session ID. So, and we need to put this into the save state async. Yeah, it accepts a state options null, and then it has a I read only dictionary metadata. Would be new, whatever. Let's make it here. Yes, and here we attach metadata and was it metadata the partition key or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Key with the value of session name.
Yep.
And then we attach this friend here.
Should work. Actually, we could. There was this. Yeah. I would try to. Do it.
Let's do in this case also query it back again. Sessions equals client 8 async store. How do we get it from a store key without?
We need to query the partition. You had that in so. See, you need to do this get.
Yeah, but how do we query it without the key?
It's an interesting question. Can we do it then maybe Star Wars and then already the question mark metadata?
I think it doesn't allow this. So potentially like null, consistency mode, whatever null,
Yeah.
and then also the same metadata.
Yeah.
And cancellation token is default, okay. And it does not know what to get out of this, right? It doesn't know what's coming out of this.
Yeah, the problem is it would need the key to find it, I think.
So it would potentially give me an array of feedbacks. I bet €100 that this does not work.
I wouldn't bet against you.
Too bad. Come on, Frank.
We can agree sometimes, Max.
This is a bet between you and me. Nobody would know.
Only the people that would watch the stream, right?
And the recording, it's 23:38.
Yeah.
So 20 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, I think.
Value cannot be null. Damn it.
So yeah, that was it was the problem I was thinking about, because key value pairs only would make sense if the key means something, and in our case it wouldn't mean anything. But could we then maybe say would we then need to have like session and then always add? Would get lengthy, right? So
exactly, that's the problem. And like the inserts would also take always longer.
Yeah, because
and you need to do like 2 queries. You need to first get it out and then attach it and then write it back.
And it wouldn't make sense. So maybe this is something that we need to think about for the next session. Because I have the feeling I need to wrap my head around that, and also
I think I have the feeling it has to be like in the state transactions.
Okay.
Because it has like these operations, and it has also the operation, the upserting. It like update or inserting, and maybe there is also like an option to say attach. right? Then you have the key in the value, and the value is actually an array, and you only want to add like a child of this array, and not like return the whole thing. Maybe there is like something like attach or
Yeah, need to look that up. I need to think about that. There needs to be a way. Yeah, the problem what we have, I think, conceptually, I think we have a problem because a state is like a state your application is in, right? And if you overwrite the state changes. What we are now doing is maybe it's not the right way to even write this into the state with our feedback.
why not? Please don't say database now, because state is the database.
Yeah, but a state is something that
That's the state of the application.
yeah. I need to think about that. So
Like this is like the value of our application. It later on will represent how many feedbacks we have, the averages, and the good and the bad. So if we like exchange the front end, kill the pods, whatever, and spin it up again, it can read from the state store and would be the same.
if you think about this, so our store would be so if you think about this set of our store would be then the session, and we only would have two keys. One is good, one is bad. We just increment that.
I don't like it.
Why?
How would you like later on see when the people did submit feedback or something like that? You cannot attach a date to the individual entries. That's what you do is aggregation.
Yes.
And I do not like aggregation on the fly. And potentially it breaks because you need to have strong consistency. Otherwise, if like 500 people at the same time submit the feedback, what do? You can only like update the number one by one.
Yeah.
If you accept like all the 500 requests at once, you have 500 entries in there, and from there on you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but yes, I totally get your feedback, and also thought about it. But the problem what we are doing right now is like databaseification of a scheme that is not really working for that, you know.
But isn't that the promise of the state? So developing applications, building blocks, state management, state manage overview. Yeah, it says distributed concurrency and data consistency, bulk CRUD operations.
Yeah. Change, read, update, delete. Yes. Yeah.
So what they do here, key value, this would be our session.
Yeah.
And here we would have key value. With the key, we can query it. But this would get bigger.
Yeah. Let's think about this the next
We
2
call
weeks.
it a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or else my head will either explode or implode. Depends on if I'm using more than that there is there right now, or it's filling with thoughts.
This is also nice. State, time to live. So you have state that expires.
Mm.
Yeah, nice. So I'm wondering how they implement that on the various stores.
Can you? There's an overview, I think, about the different data stores. What can do what?
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Not everything can do everything.
That's nice. Cosmos has everything.
Yeah, and that's the reason we choose it, right?
Yes, and the serverless tier, so we don't have to pay for it. Otherwise, I'm really a big fan of. This is a hidden champion, Azure Table Storage.
You're the first one for ages that said that. So Azure Table Storage, yes. Yeah, it's inherently a key value database.
And it's amazingly super cheap. You have high redundancy, high throughput, you have partitions. It's fun. Yeah, but yeah, you do not have transactions, you do not have time to live, you do not have actors, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you like want to have tables and add stuff in there.
I know a lot of applications that use tables, like also for messages, like
yeah,
put it into the table and then get it back and all that. Yeah.
Super cheap. That's why for me it's like nobody thinks about this, and like in the Azure world, immediately think about SQL Server and Cosmos.
Yeah, it's always like, what do you need, right?
This fellow down there is nice, but it's cool that they added it in there. Redis is also everything. Makes sense. So
yeah.
If we come from here, local,
yeah.
and go to like release this one, there shouldn't be like
too much difference, right?
Yes, and the feature should behave the same.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to this, and then we need to like WebStorm this, brute force attack this, and see if
it scales.
Yeah, if it breaks, if you can scale, and how that is, if it's consistent and all that will be fun.
Yeah, and
maybe in part 10 we reach this.
Part 10, I think this is optimistic, but let's see.
we struggled with how we put in the data, right?
Yeah, and part 10 would be the next one, so just to let you know.
No, this is episode 10. Huh? I meant Dapper part 10.
Okay. So be in part 3. Yeah,
this
okay,
is
then it's that is more reasonable.
Frank, this was a really nice session again.
Was a blast, yes.
It kept my head buzzing, so didn't notice that we are already 2.5 hours in the stream.
Yeah, that's the reason I said let's do it the next time, because next days will be busy for me.
So you don't want to burn some midnight oil, but having the hackathon coming.
Yeah, I think there will be some midnight oil be burned there, maybe. I also need to cut a video tomorrow.
All right.
I need to use Adobe Premiere. Much fun.
We have to close this stream with like positive.
Yeah, it's much fun.
It's so much fun.
We did have a really good progress today, Max. It was a blast working on this.
Hey, we have debugging.
Awesomely debugging. We do have debugging. We do have
debugging front and back end.
Yeah, live sharing. We have already something that is working somehow.
We could like talk from the front end to the back end.
Yeah. You know how routes are now done,
Mm-hmm.
which you already knew in the past, but forgotten.
Forgotten.
Yes.
Let's get this. What did I do here? What is the change? Nothing. Ah, I put it in here. Yeah. Thinking how to store the feedbacks. Kind of data structure. Good. Push it. And with that said, let's close the stream. Good night, friends. Thanks for watching.
Have a
If
good
you have
one.
questions, feedback, whatever, ask Frank. send it to Frank.
Yes.
And see you in roughly 2 weeks.
Yeah, I will happily forward it to Max.
See you in 2 weeks. I already closed the stream, Frank.
You did?
No, I didn't. Just said it, but now it's going down.
Okay. Have a
Bye.
good one, everyone. Bye-bye.